Alrighty, this is the Resurrected Hobbyist with another project log video. This is an update on the Mobius Models 1/32 scale Colonial Viper kit. This is the engine section of the fighter. It's not fully assembled, it's just, stuck together for spacing and measurement. See what I mean? So, what I am working on today is going to be some of the LEDs for this project. I don't know if I mentioned it previously or not, but my ultimate goal for this project is, 1, to have a white LED in each engine. And I'm going to be using these larger 10mm LEDs for that. To have a green LED behind the main display of the cockpit. And finally to have one white LED on either side of the cockpit to illuminate the side panel displays. I've already got part of the model stuck together by tension, no glue or anything. But this is so I can get a good idea of lengths of wire and such. I can still tighten things up by pulling it tighter through the mounting hole later. So, let's get to work on the engines. I've run the numbers and already determined that I will need a 55 ohm resistor for these lights. The finished kit is going to be using a 3 AAA battery pack like this one. And these LEDs have roughly a 3.5 volt drop off to them. Now, the note to all of this is that I don't actually have any 55 ohm resistors. The closest I actually have are 68 ohm resistors. They're close enough though. They will dim the LED very slightly, but it won't be enough to actually be a problem. So I've got my soldering iron all warmed up with a tin tip, waiting on my helping hands. I prefer to attach the resistor to the negative leg of the LED. There isn't any particular reason for this, but it's a habit I picked up somewhere and I've kept doing it. I have found it makes it easier for planning if you always put the resistor on the same leg. So I'm going to go and twist these wires together to ensure it's a strong connection. With that, I now need to figure out how much wire I actually need for the LEDs. So we're going to have the LED right about there. There we go. So we're going to need about 6 inches, give or take. I'm using fairly thick wire just because I don't have anything thinner right now. If this were a more involved lighting scheme, this would actually be a problem. But it's not, so it's not. And there we go. The wire, LED, and resistor are all mounted on the helping hands, ready for solder. So now I'm going to heat up the connection and touch the solder to the connection, not to the soldering iron tip itself. I don't need a lot of solder, just enough to make a good solid connection. And those connections are good. Then I'm going to attach a red wire to the positive leg of the LED. This little bit of wire here is actually strong enough to poke me, which will be an annoyance later. So I'm going to use the tips of my wire strippers to bend it down and out of the way. And once more, mounting on the helping hands. There we go, just need to let the wire heat up for a moment. And we've got the connections for one of the LEDs done. Now for the other two. Alrighty, that is all three LEDs wired up. The next step is putting some sheets of shrink wrap around the connection to prevent short circuits. If you don't already know, all these are just little rubberized tubes that shrink when they're heated. I'm hoping I can use the smaller ones for this. But it looks like I made the connection a bit too long, so I need to use 2 sheaths for that. There we go, and now I just need to apply heat to them. Alrighty, I had hoped to show you the heat shrinking process on camera, but I forgot that my heat gun has a big old transformer block on the plug that won't fit in my workbench outlet. So I had to do the heating in the other room where I don't have a camera. Anyway, there are the LEDs with the heat shrink applied. And just because I am paranoid and want to confirm what should already be confirmed, let me plug these into the breadboard with the battery pack. Why isn't this working with the breadboard? Ah, there we go. There's one. There is 2. Well, I haven't actually stripped the wires for the last one yet, but you can see the first 2 work. Now, the reason I made these wires so much longer than the wires on these 2 is because these are going to be my main leads and bring the power up from the battery pack for the entire model. So, the engines will be attached a bit like this. Alrighty, let's strip off the wire. Okay, and with those connections made, can I get a thin sheath over that? Yes, I can! Woohoo! Okay, so I'm out of black heat shrink, so I'm just going to use a blue one here. And let's get some heat on those. Okay, and there we go. All 3 engine lights are assembled. Now they just need to be mounted in the engine compartment. But first, let me take a look at the lighting and see how far back from the inserts I want to mount the LEDs. What is wrong with you, my little friend? Well, that is somewhat disconcerting. Let me take a look at the connection and see if bridging it solves the problem. I'll need to come back and reseal this with either tape or hot glue. Huh, looks like it's the red lead. Hold on. That is actually a bad LED. Well, schnarple. That's disappointing. I will need to get another 10mm white LED because I do not presently have any more. That kind of irks me. Well, I can still figure out mounting placements using these 2 LEDs. Let me just turn off these lights. Okay, there we go. Ooh, sorry about that blinding light there. but these look like they are going to need to be mounted right about where these mounts or whatever are. Okay, well, that's rather convenient because it gives me a solid reference point to work from now. Well, that brings us to the end of this work log. Stay tuned for my next update. Thanks for checking out this work log video. If you like the project or other projects that I have done, be sure to click that subscribe button. You can also follow me on Twitter and Facebook. If you want to support the channel more directly, you can donate through Patreon.